Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and you guys saw the title of the video, so you have some idea of what this little rant's going to be about. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing. Let's do a little bit of crafting and let's talk about it. Alright guys, and I did a video earlier today talking about airflow restriction masks because they're becoming more and more popular as this trendy thing. And it made me think of a lot of things, but someone said, you know, it's really scary and it's fucked up that someone actually has to tell people, has to tell grown-ass men and women that restricting your breathing is fucking stupid and can hurt you. That, yeah, particularly like trying to wear it at night, because I told people that, you know, the truth, that it's the altitude training, high altitude training that people do. We found out from the research, and by we, I mean the human race, not me personally, as in I didn't go conduct the studies. But I've read the studies, so therefore I have the information in them, that it's not the training at high altitude that increases red blood cell count. It's the actual living, and particularly the sleeping up there for weeks straight, for weeks or months at a time. That's what actually does it. So people were like, oh, I should just wear the mask when I'm sleeping. No, that would replicate sleep apnea. It's not ever good to intentionally restrict your breathing. In fact, doing so, particularly at night while you're sleeping for prolonged periods of time, could replicate sleep apnea, and it could damage your heart. It could cause actual heart damage over time. It's a really, really, really bad idea. But that's the thing that they pointed out, that it's scary that anyone in this industry needs to actually tell people that restricting their breathing is fucking stupid. That's how bad this industry has gotten with all of its bullshit and cons that they sell people, that you need to actually tell people, no, this is fucking stupid. Like, this could hurt you. This is a really bad idea. This is, you know, again, as stupid as saying, oh, I'm going to try one of these bullets you're making and shoot myself in the foot and see what happens. Well, I can tell you what's going to happen. It's going to put a fucking hole in your foot. It's stupid. You don't need to see what's going to happen. And that was the other scary part, too. The first time I talked about one of these, remember Jerry Ward came up and said, well, you haven't tried it to see what's going to happen. And then he went and bought one. And it's like, yeah, because I'm not a fucking idiot. I know what's going to happen. I know what happens when you restrict your airflow. It's not that hard to know that it's a bad thing. Yet he went and did it. Because that's the mentality of this industry. You have fucktards like Jerry Ward giving people advice who actually need to test stupid theories that you can open a science book and we already know what happens. A medical book, we know what happens. You don't need to shoot yourself in the foot to know that it puts a hole in it. All right, I can assure you of this. This has already been studied in detail. We know what bullets do. We know what restricting airflow does. We know that it's not beneficial to you in any way ever. And we know that in the worst cases, it causes heart damage. All right, we don't need you to go test it to see if you get heart damage. We already know. Medical doctors have already learned this. Same sort of stuff. How about pre-workouts? Hey, you really shouldn't be taking stimulants, particularly addictive stimulants, in order to train. The fact that I need to tell people this, or that anybody needs to tell people this because these things have been marketed by the industry as a good idea, and tons of people are like, oh, I try them, I use them. Hey, you don't know if they're going to work for you till you try it. Try it and find out. Well, we already know what happens. You get addicted to them. Then you need this expensive pre-workout to continue training so that you can continue to do your thing. So, you know, why do you need to test this to find out? We already know what happens. These things are addictive. And once you start using them as a crutch to train with, what's going to happen? You're going to continue to need them. And they're going to cause burnout. They're going to cause recovery issues. Even though they psych you up in the moment to train, they will negatively interfere with your recovery. They're a bad idea. Why would you think that you need stimulants to lift weights? Again, it's stupid that anyone is having to tell people this. It's just downright scary. That anyone has to be told this. I can understand young, naive people, but this stuff has been marketed. All these things that are really bad ideas have been marketed so much that people don't even think about it anymore. When they actually pause and stop and go, wait, what? And they want to argue with you about it. How about wrapping your joints to prevent pain? Joints like elbows and knees, because you're hurting. Your joints and your tendons hurt as a result of training. All right, common sense. Let's assume you didn't actually know that this damages your knee. That knee wraps, there are studies out there showing they damage your knees. If you didn't know that, Common sense would dictate, hey, if I'm doing something with my training repeatedly and it's starting to cause my joints and tendons to hurt, common sense, an intelligent person would stop and think, you know what, I should probably change what I'm doing instead of taking something to kill the pain. Wait a minute, if I'm wrapping these joints up, that's not actually stopping the damage or inflammation with what I'm doing with my training. That's just a Band-Aid fix. And if I continue to train that way and that just makes it stop hurting for a bit, maybe I'm going to damage it further. Maybe that already inflamed tendon is eventually going to tear. Maybe I'm going to build up scar tissue from doing this. Maybe I should fix what I'm doing with my training instead of taking a bunch of ibuprofen or painkillers or wrapping them up. This is just common sense. Yet people have to be told this. Think about it. That's scary. A lot of this stuff that I talk about here, it's actually mind-boggling, and it blows my fucking mind that I actually have to tell people this stuff. And it's not just a few people, it's tons of people. And again, I don't necessarily blame the people, I blame the fact that the industry itself has normalized stupid, self-destructive, ignorant behavior so much that people don't stop and think, because since everyone's already doing it and tons of people who are successful advocate these things, so therefore they must be okay, and they've never actually stopped and think, wait, is this a good idea? Is this stupid? I mean, it's just like C.T. Fletcher. I've seen him screaming in a video one time, we do ignorant ass shit in this motherfucker. That's this whole fucking community. That's not just C.T. Fletcher. He could make that statement for the whole fucking industry. They do ignorant ass shit in this motherfucker. And nobody is stopping to say, hey, what we're doing is butt fucking retarded. And then people actually have to come along and explain it to people, and it's scary. And you know what's even scarier? That when I do this and I make videos talking about this stuff, tons of people want to argue. Even other YouTubers will occasionally make a video wanting to argue the point that this is perfectly acceptable. And I'm wrong, and these masks improve performance, they're perfectly safe. Knee wraps help prevent injuries when we know they fucking cause injuries. They cause damage on their own, and they're being used as a Band-Aid because you're training terrible. Pre-workouts, oh, I use them all the time, it's fine, he's wrong, he's so full of shit. People actually want to argue about this stuff. You know, I almost feel like the same motherfuckers, the same stupid brain-dead motherfuckers who want to argue this stuff, I mean, it's common fucking sense. And if it's not common sense, you can go open a medical book. You can open a physiology book and see for yourself. It's that simple. Go do some basic research. But the people actually want to argue it. I almost wonder if these same brain-dead motherfuckers wouldn't argue with me that this bullet would put a hole in their foot. They probably would argue that point, and that's scary. That's the level of ignorance, the profound ignorance we deal with in this community day in and day out. And again, it just blows my mind that I need to tell people this. And there are other people telling people this. It's not just me, but it's fucking scary. The level of sheer fucking ignorance in this community that you have to actually tell people that restricting their breathing is bad, that stimulants before you lift long term, doing it every workout for months on end is really fucking stupid. It's a really bad idea. Shouldn't be taking these pre-workouts. The fact that we need to tell them that is scary. But what's even more scary is the number of idiots who will defend it. When you actually point out that brain dead, butt fucking retarded behavior is actually stupid and dangerous, and you actually have to do it, and that's bad enough that people will actually stop and defend the behavior and argue with you. I mean, holy shit. And people wonder why I get frustrated with this community sometimes. I mean, guys, come on. I mean, some of this stuff, it blows my mind that grown-ass men can't figure these things out for themselves and then want to argue with you about it when you actually point it out. Some stuff is just common fucking sense. And I can understand that some people get sucked into it because of the whole community. But at a certain point, when someone else is saying, hey, you know, this is really fucking stupid, look at it. Just stop and look at it and think about it for a minute, that they want to argue with you about it. And then people wonder why so many of these guys are injured and fucked up. Look how many of the famous people in the whole fitness industry have injury after injury after injury. Is it any fucking surprise with the amount of ignorance and stupidity that is promoted day in and day out by some of the most famous people in this industry? Is it any surprise that many of the famous people are injured and fucked up all the time? Any surprise they need pain pills and get hooked on painkillers and Nubain and other stuff just to help with their injuries and pain? It's no surprise. You know why? Because C.T. Fletcher said it best. We do ignorant ass shit in this motherfucker. And the scary part is a ton of people do ignorant ass shit in this motherfucker, and they think doing ignorant shit is something worthy of bragging about. Wow. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.